Hello, once again. Resting comfortably. Monday afternoon quarterbacking and armchair philosophizing. What I want to attempt to do this time is speak about a philosopher who many have heard of, infamous in a sense in our culture, Friedrich Nietzsche. And anybody with five consonants in a row in his name, well, is he suspect? Well, that wasn't what made him suspect to me. When I first came across him, becoming interested in philosophy, there were others that attracted me more or less. Plato, William James, from one end to the other, and Nietzsche came up. Of course, his dictum, God is dead, basically sent terror tremors through my being, not necessarily brought up in a religious manner, far from it, although there was some religious conversion when I was a teenager. So there's always been, well, I call it a religious factor, a religion factor, a spiritual factor. Somehow God entered into that equation. Now, I would also run into Eastern philosophies, Indian and Chinese and Japanese Buddhism, in which there is no God, there is no need for God. One works out their own salvation with diligence, which probably would have been fine for Friedrich Nietzsche, except that diligence perhaps would take him away from living his life here and necessitate an existence in nothing or in nirvana. But beside the point, what was it about Nietzsche that had him proclaim God is dead? Was it a god, or was it organized religion? You know, what was his bone of contention? And I think it was perhaps rooted in a healthy vision of oneself, able to overcome the shortcomings in life of whatever vicissitude. Nietzsche's other famous dictum, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So Nietzsche comes into play as both a decadent, or someone who has experienced the morality of his time, which is leading him to posit this earth, this life, as worthless, basically meaningless, unfit for human consumption, and only really designed and destined for those that can afford themselves a belief in an afterlife or in nothing. Nietzsche, as brilliant as he was, had to turn away from his formal education, teaching, to pursue his own inner drive to overcome the values he had been handed, almost force-fed, and he spent most of his adult life at that point in solitude, digging down deep, undermining, and exploring his decadence to where he would finally arrive at what he called the great health, the capability to take what he also called the cultivating ideal, that which is bound to happen in your destiny, which fate will supply. It's your darkest moments. It's in the abyss of your melancholy. It's when one is utterly devastated and this life isn't worth living, or this life here isn't worth living. But Nietzsche had a way to dig himself out